Peace, everybody. What's up? It's your brother, Mr. Holipsism, coming to you on May 1st, Sunday. Got a little live stream for you. Like to hear it? Here it go. Do black votes matter? They say there's power in voting. Maybe black folks should vote with their feet. Definition of foot voting is expressing one's preferences through one's actions by voluntarily participating in or withdrawing from an activity, group, or process, especially physical migration to leave a situation one does not like or to move to a situation one regards as more beneficial. People who engage in foot voting are said to vote with their feet. And I put an article um, in the description box. The title of the article is The Catch 22 Facing Black Voters at the Ballot Box. Racism endemic in our political system leaves Black Americans choosing between being ignored and taken for granted. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I have my brother Underrated Mind joining us today.
Peace be AIO family. What's up, Hollow?
Peace, peace. How you doing?
Doing all right. It's Sunday. No complaints. I saw your post with the jersey
Oh yeah.
baseball shirt. Yeah, that's fresh. I gotta get mine too. I went to the website.
Oh yeah. It's good prices too. That's why I got it. It's usually like it's, whole lot of money, but this wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Wasn't bad at all. And you can put it any way you want to. You can upload graphics. You can use, the custom stuff. It's good.
Not to get off topic, but that logo, did you choose the stitch or the print?
The print,
The print.
hmm but
Okay.
it's thick. It's not like it looks like it's pasted onto the side,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a printout. It's not stitched.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
that would have been cool. But that's cost more money to do that.
Yeah.
But I like this one. It's nice. So, question: do black votes matter?
In my opinion, no. Um, I haven't really seen much change. And on top of that, have we even had somebody that truly represented us, where we voted for them and they pretty much, helped out our needs or whatever. So I don't think it matters.
Nah, I've been saying for the longest that voting doesn't matter until you can actually have the ability to buy politicians. I think we're playing by a set of rules that's different than what everyone else is playing by. You
Yeah.
know, nobody nobody plays the so-called game fairly. What people do is they fix the rules so that they can win. Best
Yeah.
example of that is Professor Jeffries, who worked at City College in New York, used to talk about how Jewish students would prepare for a test, and they had like their little I don't know what you call those college fraternities or something. Is that what they call them?
Yeah. Fraternities.
They have like these Jewish fraternities, like let's say it's Yeshiva University in New York. So what their leadership of their fraternity would do is that they would have copies of all of the tests that the teacher would give. So they knew how the teacher would change the answers to questions. They knew his pattern and everything. Historically, they would have a database of the tests that the teachers take. So, oh, is this professor? Oh, these are the tests that he gives. So
Wow.
when their students study for the tests, do you think they're guessing? Oh, I hope I studied really hard so I can pass this test. Or do they know they're going
They
to
know.
pass the test?
They know they're gonna pass it.
See what I
Holy.
mean? That's how people are playing by a whole different set of rules than we are. You can study your ass off. You're never going to be as good as them until you get with the program and do the same damn thing.
Yeah, because I read a little bit of the Catch 22 article, and one of the statements I thought was definitely true is that, both parties, they just don't care for black people. They
Right.
said the Republican side, they kind of just ignore them, and then Democrats is like just pulling that little string, like, oh well, things take time. Like we'll try to get there and stuff. So it's a lose lose regardless.
Yeah. The Democrats' main strategy is you don't want to vote for Republicans. That's their strategy. Every 4 years, every local election, every national, it's the same strategy. Don't vote. You don't want the Republicans to get in, as if the Republicans are going to do more damage than they have. I mean,
Yeah.
we had 4 years of Trump. I don't think that the black community disintegrated into nothingness. How has it helped us or been? It's like Trump has been in for 4 years. Obama was in for 8 years. What has changed?
Right. I wanted to share my screen too because I got the article pulled up and I wanted your thoughts on the
Yeah, go ahead, go for it.
let's see here. I wanted your thoughts on the graph. You can see it. You can see it how
Not see anything yet.
you don't see the graph on StreamYard?
Nope.
Anybody in the chat
I
can
guess
see
because
it?
I'm like, oh, I see it on StreamYard. I don't see it on the live stream.
Oh, snap.
Hold on a second. Maybe there's like a delay. Let me refresh. It's there now.
Okay. All right, cool. So all right. Thank you, Siri. But yeah, like majority of our people, we've been democratic since for a minute.
Hmm.
And then I wonder too, because like where does the independence portion come in? Like I never thought we would have some voters, vote independent. Just
Pen-
kind of curious about that.
Independence of what?
Like who
Hello?
in the past, have we voted for, that were, I guess, in the independent party or something, like, because that took a dip.
Oh, Jesse? No, Jesse was Democrat.
Jesse was Democrat.
Yeah.
Uh,
Um, voting has not helped. Listen, the only way voting can help you, like if you have to have an agenda,
hmm
and then what you do is you buy politicians to help pass legislation to help you with your agenda. That's what everybody does. But what
Right.
we do, we just do it like it's like the example that I gave you of taking a test. We do things the right way, the fair way, the way that everybody says you're supposed to do it, and we want to compete on that level when other people rigged the game. And then
Yeah.
they claim victory, and do they feel guilty about it? You think the Jewish students who passed the test felt guilty because they knew the answers?
No, I don't think they felt guilty at all. It was a Chinese proverb too that they said, in order to make money in this world, you have to oh dear. You had to I got to come back to it. But cheating was one of them.
What you said was a Chinese power?
Yeah, it was like in order to make money in this world, you either be first, you either be smart or cheat.
Yeah.
So it's like not only the Jews have that same mindset, but even, Chinese, like, gotta do what you gotta do.
You know my favorite thing, like I watch wrestling. One of my favorite moves in wrestling was Eddie Guerrero. His theme was lie, I cheat, I steal.
Cool. Yeah.
He would take a steel chair when the referee's back was turned, throw it into his opponent's hands, and then fall on the ground like he got hit. And the referee would turn around and see the guy with the chair, and he would disqualify him.
Right.
It's like everybody's playing by a different set of rules, basically.
Yeah.
We want to be fair, but nobody's fair with us.
Yeah.
And my thing is this: I'm all for fairness if everybody's playing fairly. If everybody's playing fairly, then I'm for fairness. If everybody's cheating and you playing fairly, then you're a fool.
Hmm.
Oh, look who's joined us. Oops. Hello.
Howdy.
Oh
How
God.
you doing?
It would
I'm
be the
joking.
same if I didn't get that appreciation from him.
What's going on, Siri?
Don't get all serious on me. Come on.
Hey, what's up, Chima?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I just think like voting is a joke, in my opinion. Like, I will see the commercials too with, you got the fellas, it's like talking about, yeah, it's important to vote so we can make a change and this, that, and the third. They're putting us in the commercials and shit, and just we're trying to, I guess, promote why it's important, why it matters. But then, I don't think everyone understands the sole purpose of it and the nuances of when it comes to voting. Because it was a section, I think, in Blueprint for Black Power that talked about it, and I think it was a chapter that we covered. I forgot which one, but yeah, it's just so cliche to me.
But even when he talked about it, it was always within the context of nationhood and power.
Hmm.
It's like that's the thing. It's like voting within itself isn't necessarily bad, but I think that people mistake the vote for political power. I think that's what the problem is.
Yeah.
They think that like they equate voting with political power, and voting is not political power because there's groups that hold tremendous political power and they have very small numbers. Like look at what the LGBTQ community or the trans, not even them, the trans. We'll just take a portion of the LGBTQ. The trans community has been able to influence society and the culture, and they represent 0.06% of the population
In the world?
in this country.
Oh, in this country. Gee whiz.
Worldwide, probably the same. It's not like this they have tremendous numbers.
All right.
So how have they been able to yield so much influence?
Hmm.
They're organized.
Yeah.
There's that word again.
That's a trigger word.
Hmm.
Yeah, but it works.
Baruti said in the comments section, can you delve into black leaders' responses, hypothetically perhaps, if posed with the question, why are choosing between being ignored and being taken over for granted the only options?
So Baruti wants me to answer what the people who work against our interests would tell us if we asked them that question, because I have no idea how they think and how they would answer that. Does anybody want to take a shot? Put yourself in the mind of a sellout. You gotta summon your inner Marlon Brando or something. You gotta put yourself into their brains and figure out what would they say if you asked them that question. It's sort of similar to the question that we always ask, like, what's the black agenda?
Yeah.
Brother Jabari is with us.
Peace, Jabari.
Peace, everybody. How's everybody doing?
It's all good, bro.
Where we
But
left?
seriously though,
Where we left off? Was it the I heard in the chat, get your booty to the polls? Is that what we doing now?
We got
nah,
we
We
got
doing a
Baruti's
two-step shuffle to
question.
the poll?
nah, we got Baruti's question on the screen if you can see it.
All right. How loved and underrated can you delve into black leader response hypothetically perhaps? It posed with the question, why are we choosing between being ignored and being taken for granted the only option? What they will say is, well, black voters have some sway in the Democratic Party. We do make up 24% of all Democratic votes. That's what they would say. They're going to say, well, we do have some sway in the Democratic Party, even though we really don't. But that's what they'll say. That's what they'll say. And y'all read some of the article, so the article speaks for itself.
Yeah.
Sherry, you want to take a shot?
I'm looking at this as an outsider, and I'm basically looking at it as if you're going to go to the negotiation table, you should take inventory of all of the things you bring to the table because you need to negotiate from there. That's your leverage. And I think it's like what you said that they think by their voting power they have political power, but they don't. All they're doing is participating in this two-sided game back and forth year after year. But if they really want true power, they need to say, okay, we got this. We're an extended workforce. We do this. We have this value. And for that, we want this. And I think that's the conversation that is not happening. And maybe some definition needs to be had around that value proposition. What is it that you're bringing to the table? And what are you going to use as your leverage to negotiate from?
And I just want to briefly get to this point made by Bo Baby. As Paula mentioned briefly earlier, I can't see votes being useful unless we're essentially paying our politicians. Might as well have a nation state. At least they'd be yours to pay off. I would even go further and say this. How can even if black folks, let's say, was supposed to, um, buy off these politicians, we would have no leverage like that because how much can we pay them? That's the thing. You could pay, create a black pack, but is that the same thing as ExxonMobil or Amazon or Apple or Elon Musk doing it, Facebook? Like, no. And so we have to be realistic, and the frustration is that we know we're at a disadvantage. The electoral college disadvantages black people. Gerrymandering disproportionately disaffects black people. The majority of black people live in states that we ain't gonna carry either way. So it's like, except for maybe Georgia and Virginia and North Carolina, really ain't no black folks Texas, you ain't carrying. Florida, you're not carrying. Mississippi, you're not carrying. Alabama, you're not carrying. Louisiana, you're not carrying. Arkansas, nope. Tennessee, nope. West Virginia, heck no. Kentucky, nope. Michigan, maybe. Ohio, no. So what advantages, what leverages do we have? And you'll have folks who will say, well, yeah, we show in South Carolina, right? That's because majority of white South Carolinians are Republicans. So they vote in the Republican primary, not the Democratic primary. And then let's say that black folks vote for this politician that we want. 60, like that means that about 63%, because we're gonna use about raw numbers, we're gonna say about 60% of all Democrats are white or Hispanic. And then maybe 5 to 10% are Asian. So what if that other 60%, that other 76% don't want what you want?
Let me it's so funny how like you can see how everything is everything, like how one thing is connected to another. Like con men or people who's trying to sell you something that don't work, they'll always say, don't look at results, just enjoy the process. isn't that
Mm,
isn't that convenient?
yes.
So you're not basing your actions on success, you're just enjoying the process, you're just enjoying doing what you're doing.
Hmm.
That sounds like a con man to me.
Hmm.
If you're doing something and you're not getting results, no, don't enjoy the process. The process doesn't mean shit if you're not getting results.
That's insanity.
Yeah, but that's what the I believe that that's what the black leaders and representatives will tell you. Oh, you gotta participate. Participation.
And
That's the key.
do harm reduction.
Right.
And do
Harm
harm
reduction.
reduction.
Participation, harm reduction, enjoy the process. Sounds familiar to me.
Insane.
They want you to actually they're reversing the logic. Instead of you looking at something and saying and measuring your success by your actions, you're going, well, my success doesn't really matter. I'm just enjoying myself.
But Rudy, I would say this: it's not even they're not even great orators. The only thing that they do is they make it like they give you hope. That's the biggest thing that they're able to convince, why they convince black people in America. One is we don't have the microphone. That's one reason. But number two is they give you the hope. That's what they do. They'll tell you like the great Reverend, King, or the great Frederick Douglass, or such and such and such, Shirley Chisholm, and all of these black folks who try to make it in America, try to be on top of leadership. That's what they do. They give you the hope of inclusion, right? Or give you hope that things are going to be better. These black leaders, if you really press them, they don't have anything to say.
Mm.
They don't. If you were to really press majority of these black leaders, like I didn't make a TikTok video about this, but I was supposed to, about how Jim Clyburn basically said that the reason why Hillary Clinton didn't get in office because Barack Obama didn't pick a black woman as the Supreme Court justice.
Really.
We gotta trust in God.
They're not, like I said, they're not great orators. They're not. They just give you hope of inclusion. That's all they do in this diversity. If you really press them and ask them, okay, how are you any different than the Republican Party you claim to be against? And you press them on the policy issues, they'll start deflecting. They'll start, saying, oh, well, this is what we're doing. You know,
Well, it's funny how it all ties back to our question. What is the black agenda? Because let's just say, like hypothetically, let's say we go to the multiverse, and in the multiverse, black folks have the money to pay for politicians, right? We just you know have that
Mhm.
scenario. What difference does it make? What are you paying them to do if you don't have an agenda?
Mm.
and you got to have the votes too to back it up.
But what's the but in voting for what? Like, what is your agenda in this country? I'm so dying for a black politician, a elected official, or somebody, a talking head, to tell me what is the end game. Because
Mm.
if this is chess, we just moving pieces around the board without knowing if like how the pieces even move. Like, what are we doing? If you're trying to win a game, what's the end game? And then you're gonna get the Ralph Cramden shit.
Eat the bread, drink the blood.
Ask, and then also ask them who would get, where would they get these votes from? Because what, you're gonna get Republicans in Wyoming to support your agenda. You're gonna get Republicans in Idaho and Montana to support your agenda. You're gonna get Republicans in North Dakota to support you. Like, who gonna be supporting your agenda?
And what's the agenda? Because to me, all right, let's just say we put on our militant integrationists and Black Power American hats just for a
Oh
second.
shit.
I don't want y'all to don't get too used to it. It's not
I
Just role playing.
feel
yeah,
the
just
I
role
feel the
playing,
kryptonite.
role playing. But let's do this. Wouldn't it make sense to try to control policies in the areas where you dominate in numbers?
Yeah.
I mean, that's all you can really hope for. Because, like Jabari said, you can't. There's more white people in here than there are us.
Right.
So, do you have a national agenda? Do you have a local agenda, depending upon which state you're in? And if you do, what's the agenda?
What's the agenda?
What is it? Because if you're going to pay politicians, what are you paying them for? What are they doing for you?
And they have to be able to win. They got to be able to sell it to their voters too. They can't, like, one of the things corporations do, even though they buy off politicians, they do a really good job of selling their points to voters. Funding think tank, like, they do a really good job of being able to say this is what the voters get and this is what the voters win, even though we know it's not true. How you
But
gonna do that? How you gonna do that with black folks? I'm just curious. I'm just curious to these militant integrationists. How we gonna do that?
And Jabbar, you make an excellent point about the money point, because true, you don't really see the Asian and Koreans politicians that much. You don't really see them banging the drums for voting, but yet they yield a lot of political power. Why? Because they actually have an economy.
I'd go even further. I go even further. One of the reasons why their community gets a lot of say and influence is, one, they're not. I mean, we don't. They don't have the history that we do. That's number one. Number
Hmm.
two, numerically, they're different. They're different. And here's one of the most important things that I think that these ADOS and FBA don't get. The reason why the Latino and Asian communities have more sway is they're not one uniform group. They literally are made up of multiple nationalities. So, for example, you can appease the Hispanic voters, because guess what? You got to get Cubans. Cubans are different than Mexican. Mexicans are different than Nicaraguans. Nicaraguans are different than El Salvadorians, different than Colombians, different than Venezuelans. So therefore, you can't predict how their community is going to vote, because they're literally made up of different nationalities, and most people who are Latino or Latina, depending on which one you want to use, and who are part of the Asian community, have different nationalities that are of strategic value. Okay, and also here's something else that needs to talk about. Most of the people that come to America, the immigrants that come to America, are right wing in their politics. Let's be real. I mean, let's be real. Not all of them. The majority of them vote Democrat, but a significant chunk of them that come to America are right wing. For example, Cubans. Who are the people? Do Cubans vote mostly Democrat or Republican?
Republican.
Venezuelans, Republicans. Nicaraguans, Republicans. Colombians, Republicans. Mexicans vote Democrat. When they say Latinos vote Democrats, they're really meaning Mexican Americans and Central Americans. The
Oh
vast
wow.
majority of Caribbean and South American immigrants do not vote Democrat. When they say Hispanic voters vote Democrat, they're usually meaning Puerto Ricans, Mexicans, and Central Americans.
Workers.
Mm-hmm.
People who control, like who have businesses and do commerce and stuff, they vote Republican.
Exactly.
I got a question. So when when y'all sent the foot voting description, I thought it's something totally different. I was like, foot who? So is foot voting the solution for black people? Is that what we need to do? We need to just waltz on out? Like what?
No, I don't think it's that. I think it's if you look at the chart that you had earlier, that says to me that there's some splitting happening, and I don't think that's a good sign.
Hmm.
I think I think black people, we should be doing foot voting. We should. Because if you don't like the situation you are in and you feel like it's pointless to advocate within the system, don't vote for the less, vote with your feet. Vote with your feet. Don't sit here and beg these people to accept you. Say, listen, if they're not gonna treat us with respect, we're gonna vote with our feet. We're gonna leave. We're gonna migrate. We're not dealing with this. We're not struggling. We're not doing this. We're not doing none of that.
See, that's the problem. There is no we.
Unfortunately.
There is no us. There is no our.
Holla, I want you to understand that black folks, like you said, if black folks joining the BL for a second. I want you to talk about this is just a video with 11 views, right? This is a video of 11 views, right? But this video, this was posted a week ago. I hope I can do it, but if not, if I can't share my screen, then oh well. But I just want to show this for a quick minute for a second, right?
I'm about to take my
So,
shoes off and vote.
so if you look at this, right, this is talking about African Americans moving to South Africa, right? And they were talking about in one of them, I got to find out where it was. But there's one, you see all these videos about African Americans moving to South Africa. And there was a South African, let me get the video for y'all. But there was a South African who did a video. So let me get that for a second because this is very important. Okay, yeah, this one. Okay. Here we go.
Put one in the chat if you're gonna foot vote.
And thank you for tuning in. Now, before I start, I would like to ask that you like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Now that we've done that, let's go. Before I decided to do this video, I was writing a script for a video called "Why Don't African Americans Create Their Own Political Party?" By looking at the situation that our brothers and sisters find themselves in that particular country, I decided to make this video instead, and hopefully convince you, if you're an African American worried about living in a country where you or your son are likely to get shot for going 1 kilometer away. I'm sorry, 1 mile over the speed limit. And that really matters, though, still doesn't justify taking a human life. But wait, let's just move on, guys. Now, we all know that the West has been pushing a negative stereotype about African countries over the years. And unlike 2 decades ago, Africa is now the hub of development. that host a lot of the world's fastest developing countries. These stereotypes, such as Africa is a dark continent, and those horrible UNICEF adverts where they depict Africa as this continent full of disease and death. Such stereotypes have really pushed away African Americans from coming to Africa and splurging those succulent dollars on our economy. This also led to African Americans to splurge those holiday savings in South America, Europe, and Asia. But I'm not here to talk about the holidays. I'm here to talk about African Americans coming back home to Africa, and more specifically, coming back to the country I call home, South Africa. For the past decade, I've been bumping into African Americans, and I've always thought that they were just tourists. But as I've been watching a lot of expat videos on YouTube, I've realized that there is a movement of African Americans moving to South Africa for both social and economical reasons. Now, although African Americans have a net worth of $4.3 trillion, America is a very expensive country to live in. The average annual income for an African American is about $46,000, roughly around 716,000 rand. And although there is an upper class middle salary in South Africa, the cost of living in America is so high that African Americans live paycheck to paycheck and go into debt for simple things such as quality healthcare. Now, this is not a promotional video for my government, but a video that I hope will be able to reach at least 10% of the African American population to foster cultural and economical ties to South Africa. South Africa is a beautiful country, from Cape Town to Gqeberha, Durban, Johannesburg. Our country has spectacular views and
Okay, that's just one video. Okay, and that's a South African taking notice. Here's another one. Here's another one that I was watching earlier. Which one? Okay, this one would have
That
to just
audio
40.
was coming in kind of choppy. I don't know if you noticed.
Okay, okay, maybe I need to. Okay, maybe I need. So I took my headphones out. I took my headphones out.
Were you talking about the Echo Hollow?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had muted so when Jabari's sharing his system audio, when he shares
Mhm.
his screen, he just has to mute himself because it'll share, the sound.
Okay.
Yeah. So it wasn't your headphones, Jabari. You just had, well, oh, okay. He's about to share his video anyway. Foot vote.
Today, a growth rate of 4 aftermath have had a the African American people are descendants of Africans who were brought to North America as slaves by European colonists. The experience of slavery and its aftermath have had a profound impact on their culture and society. The journey back home is a complex one. It is not just about the physical journey, but also the emotional and psychological journey. How do African Americans' emotions play out in their journey back home? With this trend, it is important for the U.S. to understand what is happening with African Americans and their role in the future of America. This is
Jabari, you're still on mute.
Oh, sorry. People know what's going on. Okay, we are on the move. Okay, we are on the move. We are making the moves. Okay, people are taking notice. It's not like ain't nobody knowing what's going on. People know what's going on. We're making the move. The problem is, like Hollis said, is the we part. That's what it is. The we part. Because imagine if African Americans all in South Africa said, we are going to collectively organize as one unit and we're going to try to influence South African policy within the country. Imagine if African Americans all got together and said, you know what? This is what our agenda is in Ghana. This is our agenda in Nigeria or wherever, or Rwanda, and say, not so much Rwanda, but in Namibia, even Zimbabwe, and said, you know what? This is what we want. Imagine how much leverage you now have. That's what has to happen. We've got to stop looking at this, like Hollis said, as a me, and look at this foot voting as a we. What are we doing as a group? Because a bunch of scattered individuals going is meaningless. We will see stuff done when we're foot voting as a group and we're putting America on the hot seat. Because if we all said, let's say for some, we all went to the Caribbean, because there are also African Americans moving to the Caribbean. And let's say we all got together and lobbied all the governments and said, do not support the United States in any of its endeavors.
Damn.
We advocate that you remove the United States from this UN body. And we got the votes. It's going to put them in the hot seat. One, black people moving as individuals doesn't mean anything. I mean, yes, it's great for your thing. It's great. And don't get me wrong. You leaving is what's needed, because we don't need to be struggling, having this mental abuse. But it's not going to have its maximum effect until we start moving together as a group. Okay? Again, people are taking notice. We need to stop acting like ain't nobody taking notice. Okay? We got people on notice. Again, we got folks on.
And what she's saying and how she's
returning to Ghana isn't for you. Finding out your roots is very at the cost of peace of mind.
Yeah.
Oftentimes you start to think about where else you could live. And for a black man in America, you try to find out where your roots are. And I do feel like even if you feel like returning to Ghana isn't for you, finding out your roots is very important, because in order to know where you want to go, you have to know where you've been.
You have to know your past.
That's for sure.
Unfortunately, so many people really don't know their past
This
or
is true.
understand history.
I mean,
That's something we need to change too.
the idea of returning has been controversial since literally the days of Abe Lincoln.
No doubt.
And what to do. I think it's an indictment of America in 2021 that
Yeah.
there are 5,000 Black Americans who've already gone back to Ghana because they don't feel comfortable here.
Yeah.
What are we doing wrong that we don't make
Right.
them feel welcome in this country?
For sure.
But it'll be interesting to see. You can understand how comforting and different it would be to go from a place where you are a black face among non-black faces to be one of all, of many.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understood what she was saying. And it was interesting, 300 calls a day for people asking about Ghana.
Yeah.
In order to know where you're going, you got to know your past. That's interesting. So where are we going?
The military integrationists don't know, but we know.
Like these, I love these like catchphrases, man. It's like when I was in my 20s, I used to, listen to these catchphrases. Do for self. Da 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 da. It's like these. It's like those catchphrases that everybody goes, yeah, yeah, and they don't have a clue what they mean.
And also read the comment section, because the comment section, Umoja, is what we want to hear. Is what I want. I'm here for the comment section, because the comment section says it all. Let me show y'all the comment section. Let me show y'all that on the video. Let me show y'all the comment section, because this is what I want to hear.
Well, the comment sections on YouTube are poison.
No, this one's good. My mom said my mom has had enough and is moving to Africa. She got back from a 3-week scouting trip in Uganda. She was so happy and at peace there. What it feels like to no longer be black in society, to just be human that exists and free to move about, not thinking about how you are perceived by others. Another one said, I went to Ghana during the year of return in 2019. It was the best decision I ever made. My fiance is from Ghana and we plan on purchasing a home and raising our kids there. Ghana is one of the most peaceful countries in one of the most peaceful countries to go to. Another thing, he said, one thing I noticed about being in Africa was that I wasn't black. I was just a person existing without racial constraints and prejudice. Holla, that if this ain't what you've been preaching, I don't know what is.
Mhm.
One person said, this was powerful. So many Black Americans don't even realize the freedom of mind, body, and spirit that is to be enjoyed. A freedom that allows you to exist without being labeled as other. In this country, we're not only dealing with generational trauma, but we're also dealing with a lot of emotional and mental scars that we carry with us from day to day, and it manifests in ways that could affect our life. Another one says she went out because she's from Tulsa. One of the persons in here was from Tulsa or Black Wall Street. She said she went and told her deceased loved one that she got out. And she put it in caps, got out. She made it back. She made it home. That brought tears to my eyes. We got this is why I said I'm for the comment section. I'm
Yeah,
really
that's unusual.
Join the BAIO.
this is what, like, it's like I said, it's not like we're in like this minority where black folks don't feel the way that we feel. No, there's a lot of black folks that feel the way that we feel. As a Caribbean national, I got emotional just looking at this video. Know what my people went through. America is trying, but there's a lot that needs to be done, and African nations needs to do better to attract talent from the African global diaspora. A proud West African who loves our beautiful Black American people. Hey,
I want to request something of people. I don't care what you call yourself. You can call yourself ADOS. You can call yourself FBA. You can call yourself a Planet Ritzian. I don't care what you call yourself. I want everybody to ask the current leadership, wherever you want to define them, copper colored leadership or black leadership. I don't care. Ask them what is the vision for black people or copper colored, whatever you want to call them, here in this country. What is the goal? Because good leadership is supposed to have a vision and a goal so that the people have some type of direction that they're going in. What is our plan here in this country?
oh man, he went out.
Who went out?
You, because you
You
said
s-
in the yeah.
well, you said what is our plan in this, and then you had cut out.
Oh, what is our plan in this country? What do we want to do collectively as a people? Why don't the people ask the so-called leaders and representatives this question? Like I said, the two questions that used to get me and Mac and the rest of my peoples thrown out of forums is what is the black agenda? Not two, one. Forget two. They wouldn't even answer that one.
Mm-hmm.
What's the black agenda? What is it?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody can answer that question. No ADOS person can answer it. No FBA person can answer it. No militant integrationist can answer it. No Black Power American can answer it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you come to us and you ask us that same question, we can answer it.
Mm-hmm.
We can answer it.
And not only that, that's why, like he said right here, so many blacks are relocating to Africa. Even immigrated Africans are returning. Things are happening. Africa is abundant in natural resources, and a lot and African leaders today are aware of that, of the power. And like I said, this is not just when people say, "Well, this is just one video." Now, this is not just one video. This is a multitude of videos. We can talk about one dude that I listened to, and they were bringing up Liberia as an example. Let's Wode Maya. Wode Maya was talking about it too. With this video. So it's not like this is a anomaly of, oh, African Americans don't want to go to Africa. Even people in my own family talked about they wanted to go to Africa. So we need to, like, I think we put ourselves in a good position. Now I understand some of us don't have patience. I understand that, but that's because they Rebel Without a Boss was one person who called them out. Shout out to you, brother. Then if we don't, he says, if people are running away from being black, then how exactly will black unity in Africa work if we don't see ourselves as black? African unity would include non-black Africans in the North who tend to be racist. I would say this. I would say so. I have a controversial opinion on that. I disagree with excluding North Africans because to make the claim, yes, Egyptians were black, but they were not exclusively black. There were Berbers, there were Amazigh, there were all these different other groups of people. And if not in Egypt, but were to Morocco, Algeria, because we talk about Egypt. Let's exclude Egypt. What about Libya? What about Tunisia? What about Algeria? What about Morocco? So to exclude North Africa is disingenuous because North Africa was pivotal in the Pan-African group because look at the Casablanca group. The Casablanca group that wanted Africa to turn into one nation was led by Ghana, Guinea, Egypt, Algeria, Morocco, and Libya. Most of the countries that wanted Africa to merge into a single nation were literally from North Africa. Many of them were from North Africa. So to say North Africa was a Pan-Africanist or for African unity, I think is disingenuous or I disagree with that notion because of the fact that they have been pivotal in the Pan-Africanist role. Secondly, I don't think that people are running away from being black. The problem is you live in a society where you're the minority and being black is seen as a bad thing. Okay? Africans know they're black. We need to stop, like, the Africans are aware that they're black. The thing about it is when you live in a black majority society, blackness is the default. So I'm not going to be as race conscious as somebody who's born in the States. It's like asking a white person right now in America, what does it mean to be white? White people get offended if you even call them whites. You know what I'm talking about, Holla?
Mm-hmm.
If you ask a white person, what does it mean to be white? They literally get upset. Why? Because white is seen as the default. White is seen as the norm. So when you start actually pressuring people to say, oh, white people, oh, what does it mean actually to be whites? Then it's a problem because whiteness is seen as the default. They're used to them being the default. So they think being white is being human. They don't think being white is, they think being white is just being human.
Why do you think they got so upset about the Black Panther movie when you got one movie with black people in it out of 2 trillion white movies? You just made one Black Panther movie and they started getting their panties in a bunch. Why? Because it was outside of the default. The default is white.
I'm calling the cops. How dare you ask me how it feels to be white?
I mean, it's the truth. When you are the default, you have that privilege. Okay? You're used to you being, like I said, being human. So now that I'm watching Black Panther or this movie, oh, it's a black movie. Notice what, like even think about it. Think about even how you do the search engine, right? And by the way, I know. Side note, Holla, your voice was kind of got the helium again.
Oh shit!
Just saying. I mean, yeah. I just had to say that because when he was talking to Black Panther, it was just a helium light. So I was just like, I don't want to keep talking and think like, I just wanted him to get that fixed. So
Oh shit.
but anyway, think about, and even a Siri can attest this. You can test it underrated. When we say, and even in America, because we're not the default and black people are not the majority, notice what we say. We say support black businesses.
Right.
You don't say support businesses. You say support black businesses.
Buy
You
black.
don't say,
Right.
yeah, you say buy black. Or when you go on Google, when you say Fraternities, you have to make it specifically clear. Black fraternities, black sororities. Black is not the default. You have to specifically specify black because
Can y'all
we're
hear
not.
me now?
Yeah, we can see you. Yeah, we can hear you.
Yep, you good.
Mm-hmm.
You notice that they don't call movies white movies. They just call them
Exactly.
movies.
Exactly.
All
Or
movies are called black movies.
or black businesses by
Right.
black businesses.
Not businesses, black businesses.
And so that's why I think black people are running away. I don't think black people are running away from their blackness. They're saying we want to live in a society, and this is what we're advocating because what they're saying is what we're advocating for. We want to live in a society where it's just called business. It's just called a movie. It's called entertainment. It's called history. It's called history or literature. You don't have to explicitly put in there it's black history. It's black literature. It's black art. No, take an art class. Introduction to art. Introduction to literature.
And let me say something before they, make me a chipmunk again. Can y'all hear me?
Yep.
This is going to be somewhat controversial, but it's true.
Oh dear.
Personally, if you want to stay in this country, you need to lay this black stuff down. Keeping it real.
Hollow, man.
You really seriously need to lay this black stuff down. Stop it. Stop. Stop with the keep the black dollar and the black people. Stop. Just stop. Stop
That's
it.
literally a nationalist talking point.
Just be American. Your life would be well, it won't be easier, but it'll be a little easier than it is now. A little bit. I mean, you're still going to be a second class, third class citizen. But at least it won't be this contentious polarization thing going on. At least you at some point, like people love it when you agree with them. So if you agree with white people that, yeah, I'm American, we're all Americans. I forget this. I don't want nothing to do with Africa. I want nothing to do with blackness. I want nothing to do with even black history here in this country. Let's eliminate Black History Month. Just get rid of all this black stuff and just be American. That makes the most sense. If the end game is for you to be here and live here, that makes the most sense to me.
Yeah, but who does that serve?
It serves the person who runs the country.
Yeah.
It's not you, but that's what we want, right? We don't want to have power of our own. We don't want to have socioeconomic and political power. We don't want to control a piece of territory. We want to live here and let somebody else handle the hard stuff. Isn't that what we collectively want?
No, I think they need to be woken up of what the truth is.
I think we already have people that's woken up.
A lot of people have woken up. It's not just like it's not like they're like the minority. Like I said, the majority of black folks have woken up. Most black people are not asleep. It's just they need the steering and direction. That's really all they need is the direction. We got black people going to the continent, but if you can steer them and organize them and steer them, say, let's go this way. Let's focus on one direction. Let's all go this way, right? Well, then we've already mission accomplished. You just need to steer them in the right direction instead of having them just scattered all over the place.
Let's address what Baruti says. He says, Holla, the question you pose to black leaders about what's the end game for us, black agenda as they see it, here's their answer. Fair treatment without racism in a predominantly Mzungu society.
How do you measure that? So how are you going? Like that's the thing. How do you measure that? How do you decide?
That isn't even asking for anything. Listen to the statement. What are they asking for that's tangible?
Fair treatment without racism.
I beg you to take the foot up my ass.
fair
That is
treatment.
hysterical.
Fair treatment. It's been over 100 years. Like
Fair treatment.
treatment.
No, the part I think that without racism is the part that made me almost spit my juice out.
Well, the fair treatment part, it's been like, it's been 500 years. Like, fair treatment is non-negotiable. Like, you can't ask for fair treatment. You need to ask for the jugular. You need to have
No,
your hands wrapped around their necks.
no, you know how this is gonna go, Assyria. It's gonna go like this. Listen, Mr. White Man, we have a list of demands, and this is what we want. Um, First on the list is fair treatment. No. Okay, all right. We'll get back to that. The next on the list is we want to exist without racism. Okay? No. All right. Well, damn, that's two. Well, all right. Let's start from your. What do you want, Mr. White Man? I want you to acknowledge that you're my bitch,
Oh shit.
and then we can take it from there.
You see
When I
what I
want
mean?
your opinion, I'll beat it out of you. Okay. Wow. Man, you run a tough. That's a tough negotiation. Let me get back to my people. That's how it's gonna go, Asiri. It's called negotiating with no leverage. What is the why? Why should I treat you fairly? Why should I get rid of racism when racism is working wonders for me? Unfair treatment is working wonders for me. What's the reason for me to stop doing the thing that's making me successful in my own society? White privilege is working great for me. And so the goal of the strategy of our so-called leaderships and representatives, this is the strategy, is to make white people feel guilty about the privilege that they have by being in a white society.
I want you to I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I just want to just point real quick. Well, baby, that's only 5,000 black people moving to Ghana, and they already got the world on notice. Imagine what would have happened if 200,000 showed up, if 300,000 showed up, if 1,000,000 showed up.
And why Ghana? Could somebody explain to me why Ghana?
Speaking of that, you know what, Hollow? I actually just saw that. I thank you for bringing that up. You know what's so funny? But you said why Ghana? Because literally somebody posted that in the tweet. I don't know if that's the same person that I think we have in the chat earlier. No, it's actually somebody different because it was also another Michael, but it was different, right? Here's what one Michael said, and it goes right into your point. What things are lining up perfectly, Hollow. Let me tell you. You said why Ghana, right? This is one comment that was wrote 12 days ago on one of the videos to talk about moving to Ghana. Michael Gavin Johnson said, why Ghana? Why not Liberia? Most Black Americans are closer to Liberia.
Get him in the BAIO. Scat. Kidnap him right now into the BAIO. God damn it.
He said, why Ghana? Why not Liberia? Most Black Americans are closer to Liberia.
You need that outreach program.
I'm telling you, like it literally, you just need that outreach program because everybody gets it. Not everybody, but a significant amount of people get it.
Exactly.
What else? It was this right here.
I need his
and
email.
you talk and I forgot I need to bring up another video because this is gonna go into this. Let me show you again because like I said, I bring receipts. I bring a lot of receipts. Y'all know me, I bring a lot of receipts. Let me bring in this video.
Email.
It
phone
is
number.
the only country in the world formed by African Americans, right? And then the newest comment tweeted African Americans right here by a name by the name of Newton Payele. He says African Americans who are finding their ancestors' land to call it their home, they can choose Liberia, not anywhere else. Liberia is the only country in West Africa that wasn't colonized by any Western country. Hey, bro, tell them.
Mm-hmm.
Kidnap him too.
All right, we got 2.
Yeah.
We
I
ain't
got
recruiting
more.
no more. We just kidnapping folks now. We just
Oh
they
my
We
have
got
no
2 for the outreach program.
Like, yeah, I got more. Even from somebody you would least expect it.
What, a white person?
No. Please. No.
Liberia for 500.
This is gonna get y'all. This is what's going. Ain't nobody ready for this. Ain't no. Well, y'all. Well, Holla knows what it is.
Is this a copper? Is this a copper colored brother?
No. Oh no, there was a Hebrew Israelite that actually did it too. So I could bring that in too. Even a Hebrew Israelite said it. Even Hebrew Israelite has it.
Wow.
Even a Hebrew Israelite said it. But one of the dudes who has a huge platform said it.
that Hebrew.
This was from a year ago,
folks.
Yes.
Oh Lord.
Let's do it.
We appreciate all the support,
Let me share this video real quick.
And about ancestors that we can document what it is. And if a good chunk of us want to go to Liberia and help get.
Nobody likes fly.
The white man.
We
the white man coming in the way.
Create a hard, sturdy belt.
Get it off the ground and make Liberia great. Listen, Liberia is the land of our ancestors that we can document very easily. Okay? So you should have some sort of connection to Liberia. We all should. And unfortunately, a lot of African Americans don't even know that our ancestors left here and went to Liberia and got that going.
I wonder why they don't.
It's time to start making that hat. Make Liberia great again.
Our brothers and sisters in Liberia, our brothers and sisters in South Africa, the EFF.
Wear the hat.
Liberia is the land to go to. Matter of fact, George Floyd, Justice in order to we are the one that went to Liberia and build that. So if you don't want to go no other African nation, Liberia would be the one to go to. Matter of fact, your ancestors have put in the Liberian Constitution that them folks cannot be a citizen of Liberia because we went through the hell with these folks, okay? And we still going through now. So don't say that we don't have no attachments when our ancestors left here and went be a part of the beginning and help build Liberia. Now, Liberia has its issues and problems, sure it do. But if any African land that we should have attachment to, at minimum, would be Liberia. Let's just call it what it is. And if a good chunk of us want to go to Liberia and help get it off the ground and make Liberia great, listen, Liberia is the land of our ancestors that we can document very easily. Okay? So you should have some sort of connection to Liberia. We all should. And unfortunately, a lot of African Americans don't even know that our ancestors left here and went to Liberia and got that going. Okay?
Oh my God.
You gonna make that shirt and the hat?
It's already made. It's already done.
Holla, like I can't
go to the merchandise.
Holla can't believe what he just heard. Like when these folks like.
No, I can't because this guy is the same. Like these people. This guy was dead set against nationhood. Now he's saying, "Oh, we gotta go to Liberia. That's our nation state." Like what?
Now that was back.
Better late than never.
Now that was back in 2020. Granted, I mean it was during the George Floyd situation, but still, the point of it is it's a consensus. It's been known throughout history that Liberia was the place to go to. That's why we focus exclusively on it. That's why we're trying to get there. Why? Because it's basically been known. It's been known. Even I saw this, like I said, on a Facebook page. Even the Hebrew Israelites went to Liberia. The Hebrew Israelites. Yes. Ben Ami. The Hebrew Israelites even went to Liberia themselves.
Oh gosh.
Ben Ami.
Mm-hmm. So it's crazy to me how we just completely disregard Liberia. Like Liberia ain't the place to be, despite the fact that literally everybody went there. Everybody, even people who claim we ain't black, we Hebrews, said, yeah, let's take a stop to Liberia, and they were supposed to stay in Liberia until something went wrong, and then they went to Israel. But they originally stopped in Liberia first before they went to Israel.
Right. Because the Most High told him to go there.
Exactly.
God.
They was there in Liberia until the Most High spoke, and then he said, "Y'all got to get up out of here."
And they said this. He said that, quote, we went to Liberia because it was going to cleanse us from all of the pain and trauma that was in the United States. That's what the Hebrew Israelites said themselves before they went to the state of Israel. Oh my God, why y'all doing this? Like, why y'all doing it? Man doing a good job. Stop it, man. Man
Ruby.
is doing a good job. Man is
No.
doing a good job.
Ah,
I mean, he does a great
Jesus.
job. I listen to Phil every now and then. I like some of the content that he does. I mean, he does a good job. I'm not gonna thing, and I don't. I disagree with that. I just disagree with that. I was like, come on, y'all really had to do that.
ah. Ruby throwing shots.
She is. My God, Ruby being vicious today. She said she woke up and chose violence.
Phil Scott is pro repatriation, but may not be for creating an African American nation from scratch. Neither are we. I'm just trying to understand Phil Scott's mind frame. Um, you ever heard of militant integrationists or Black Power American? That's all. You got to understand that mind frame. It's like I'm glad that he is like that's important for him to say that though. So I give him credit because he has a
Yeah,
big enough platform
yeah. I'm about to
that
say he has a million followers, so he has
of
influence. He
people
has
hear
influence.
that. Some a lot of people can get to hear that. So when they hear us saying it, it won't be like Mandarin Chinese.
Mm-hmm.
So it's helpful in that sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I
they like
take
I
the win. Take the win.
Yeah, I'm about to say, it's just one of those things that, like I said, we need to take everything we can get, and we not gonna go there, Ruby. We just not. What go on personally is what goes on personally. That's not for us to determine. That's not my opinion. I really don't. I mean, but let's be honest here. Let's be honest here. There gonna be black folks that come with their non-black spouse there. Let's be
Oh
real.
shit.
Let's be real. Y'all may disagree with him from Kinganda, but O'Shea Du Jackson made a whole video about that, about Pan-Africanists. Made a whole video about it. We have to be realistic expectations. Like that's why I said I'm for the nation. And since we're gonna be running it, it really don't matter who somebody's married to because we're gonna be running the country anyway. So it's like, what does it really matter? Like, I'm just saying, what does it really matter?
And I'm really wondering, do people like that really want to be in a black nation anyway? Like I don't know. You got all kinds of other countries that will accommodate that. So it's like it just seems like it's just not something that we got to really be too overly concerned with.
Yeah, that's the point that I said. Like, it's not a big deal. That's why to me, when people are like, oh, what will we do with all these couples? I'm like, first of all, they don't even make it the majority, and number two is like, what are they gonna do? Like, they're not gonna overthrow the system. They're not like, let's be real, like, let's be practical.
Let
That's
me
just
let
what I say.
me let me put it this way. I think this is in a way
Hey,
that'll make it sense. Um, what size shoe do you wear, Ruby? Let's just say you wear 4. I'll get.
Whoa,
damn.
Let's just say you wear 4.
We lost a member of
Are there
the
people? Are there people who wear a size 4 who have a wide foot? There's people that wear size 4 that have a narrow foot.
Possibly.
Yes, yes, right. Not everybody can fit the same size 4, but those people represent extremes. like maybe 10% on one side have wide feet, 10% on the other have narrow feet, but the vast majority of them, are 80% of the people, wear regular size 4. So companies make shoes for who?
The
The
80%.
80%. So nothing is ever going to be 100% of anything.
Deontay, the reason why I say it doesn't matter, the reason why to me it doesn't matter is because I mean, look at Africa right now. Africa, most Africans are pure, and yet they are literally going at each other left and right, or overthrowing the system left and right. I'm sorry, like this whole pure, like this idealism that we have as African Americans need to be thrown out the window. And even O'Shea Du Jackson made that point when he was talking about Pan Africanism in Black America versus in Africa. We got to be pragmatic. That's why to me, I'm like, listen, it don't. Because how many Black leaders have we seen today who have Black families? And meanwhile, I mean,
Well, wait,
yeah,
wait, wait, wait. Let's be clear. So
and
right now, the
nobody's saying,
policy,
and here's the thing, right? Don't take this as it should Black families shouldn't be the norm or the standard. That's not my point, not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if there's a Black person who's married to somebody who's non-Black and is willing to do what we want them to do, and they're willing to do what's in the interest of our nation, I don't care about their personal life. I care about those policies because you can have somebody who talks Black, who got a Black wife, and they will be doing doing patronage and nepotism left and right.
Jabari, let me ask you a question because that raises an interesting point that I never even thought about. Right now, Liberia's policy is that white people can't become citizens, right?
Yes,
Okay, so if a Liberian marries a white person, what happens?
Oh shit.
they're not citizens. They can be permanent residents, but they can't be citizens because they're not Negro. They're not of Black descent.
So you wouldn't change that policy, would you?
No, because why would I need to? It's
Okay,
only one
no,
person.
because I just want people to know that because they might think you're saying something that you're not.
Right. And there are plenty of countries where, and here's the thing, you can give them benefits without becoming citizens.
Right.
Like you don't have to like in a country like China, for example. You can do business in China, but you're not going to become a Chinese citizen. It's really hard to become a Chinese citizen. But yet people live in China for decades. They've married to a Chinese person, but yet they're not citizens.
Yeah.
You can give them the benefits without having
I
to be
just,
citizens.
I just want them to know that that's what you mean because I think they're thinking you mean something else based on because I think that Dante actually would agree with what you're saying. There's no, I mean, because come on, you got to be real. Look, first of all, when we're talking about we've had this discussion before, there's going to be a certain amount of years for skill transfer. You know,
Mm-hmm.
if you're going to have of skills that we don't have present, you're going to have to get those skills from somewhere.
Exactly.
So you might have to have these groups, certain members of these groups, form a residency there so that they can transfer those skills to our people.
Mm-hmm.
But I think to me, I think that that's just a
That's a yeah,
no-brainer. That
yeah,
that that
that like
goes
that
without
like
saying.
yeah, that's what I'm about to say. That's why I don't like to me it really doesn't matter because it's like they can still make their bread like DA Twins said about Saudi Arabia. Many in the country don't have full citizenship or the ability to get a passport. They can still live and make bread.
Yeah, I
Like
have zero problems with that. What I care about is if you're over in our country, in our nation, you better be working in our interests and serving our interests.
mhm. That's
That
the
there's
most
no
important
reason for
thing.
your presence there if you're not doing that.
Fuck all that shit.
Mhm.
Because like I
Non-negotiable.
said, I want doctors, dentists, skilled trade people, all of those stuff to be skills transferred to our people. Isn't that what they do in Rwanda? Because when I was over there, like I didn't see no Chinese building them roads.
Mm.
So you got to get those skills transferred, and then once you get the skills transferred, then that's it.
And
When we can do
also
the shit on our own, then we don't need you.
Talk about God.
let's be real here. Okay, for example, what's happening in Angola, because it's happening in Angola. There was a mass migration of Portuguese to Angola, right? So let's say, for example, that a white person or the Portuguese person wanted to say, okay, I want to work for this black company, right? And there are spaces and our unemployment is low. You gonna think the white person is gonna take over the company? Like you think the white person is gonna like no, the dude's just a worker. Like we own the means of production. You just work. They're making their living, they're making their money, and we still get to make the bulk of the money because we
I
control the
always
system.
I
We
always
run
make
it.
this point. I always make this point. Do you not realize that America had a black president for 8 years?
Exactly.
No,
Exactly.
everybody got amnesia.
Mm-hmm.
8 years, there was a black man as president of the United States. Did we take over America?
No, we didn't.
Obama.
No, we did not even
I
close.
I rest my case. The defense rests.
You sure?
So
Jury
Ruby,
has made a decision. Case is
so she
dismissed.
said, what's happening in Portugal? So there was a massive economic recession, and as a result, there has been this mass Portuguese migration to Angola. It's been going on for years. So it started as early back as 2015, and it's right now it's going to even to today. This was all the way back in 2015. Let me show you. This was all the way back in 2015. Um,
Why are they choosing Angola?
Obviously historical reasons. If you know, yeah, moving south, understanding new development potential of the new Portuguese migration to Angola. That's one thing that was talking about it. Another one was this right here. It says Portuguese migration continues to Angola. Oh, look at that. Look at what he said. Look at that right there. Mm-mm-mm. Mm. Everybody gets it. Everybody know what place it is.
Jesus.
Another one says Portuguese. This is from the Nordic Africa Institute. Portuguese migration continues to Angola. And it says it's not very common for Europeans to move to African countries. However, in the wake of the economic crisis that happened over a decade ago in 2008, many Portuguese have sought a better future in the future in the former Portuguese colony of Angola. That's why they're moving to Angola. Um, Now there are about between 150 to 150,000 Portuguese that live in Angola, and migration does not seem to be subsiding. It has attracted a lot of attention because it's a new form of migration that challenges many stereotypes. And Angola, and obviously there's some conflict, but some Portuguese migrants working in Angola have short-term visas, and some have no visas at all. They constantly worry about being expelled from the country. An alternative is to bribe the police or state officials. So yeah, so
Yeah,
that's
I
the reason.
understand. I understand where Ruby and Deontay are coming from, because we're just naturally suspicious of people
Yeah,
who want to cozy up with white folks. So I get it.
yeah. I'm about to say like I said, my whole thing was not like, oh, a black family shouldn't be the norm or shouldn't be. That was not my point. But the point that I was making was I care more about, are they serving our interest and needs, not so much their personal life. Because you could end up in a situation where, like I said, what about Nana Kufuor? What about Buhari? I
Yeah,
mean, are we really going to say they're the epitome of a black nation in a black society?
and remember my post about, are you uncompromising or a dumbass? Because I've raised these points before.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like if you can get the top engineer to come into your country and build you a nice airport and seaport and whatever and bridges and whatever, are you going to reject him because he got a white wife? I don't give a
Oh,
shit.
can you send Shima the link because he's trying to get on?
Oh, okay.
You like the snow more than
Yeah, yeah.
rain.
So that's the point I was saying. But also the thing about it is that happens is if you want to define, if we say a black nation, that means obviously black people, and it means that, but also the character of it. That's what you also got to define too about a black nation as well. It's not just thing, but we're actually like it's our identity and our character that also comes into account. And so that's just something also else to consider. Um, he said, this was actually when Liberians were protesting Floyd's murder. Liberia is the place where Black lives actually matter. Exactly. And nobody's done like we all know Liberia is the place to go. We all know Liberia is the place to go. Period. It's just now just organizing.
We should all vote on that.
Mm-hmm.
Put a one in the chat.
Where's the Liberian Airlines? That's what I want to know.
God damn it.
See, they used to have Air Liberia, but after the Civil War that the U.S. caused, there's no Air Liberia anymore, which sucks.
Yeah.
But we need to get that up and rolling. That's one of the very first things we need to get that up and rolling. Yes. Absolutely ridiculous.
We should make it as easy as possible to get to.
That's one of the very first things we need to get that up and rolling.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's up?
Hey.
Absolutely ridiculous. We should make it as easy. He's playing.
Whose feedback is that?
Hey, what's going on?
Oh, damn.
Is that Chima's feedback?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Chima's thing. I just wanted to let him think first. That's why I muted his mic. You good, bro? Yeah, the echo stop.
Okay, cool. Yeah, this whole thing about being like this whole pure black thing that many of us seem to have. Like, I do get that you don't want to cozy too much with foreigners, because at least not until you know what their motives are. If they generally want to like contribute and invest in your nation, like there's no reason they should be against it. But if they have any like nefarious reasons, or if they want to basically doing it just for the purpose of spying on you, then there's good reason to be suspicious. And another thing about this pure black thing, if that really mattered on the continent, we wouldn't have like you see, with people with having like whites or non-black spouse and whatnot. If all that really mattered, we wouldn't have the president of Nigeria's wife, who was also a black woman, going to Dubai with Nigerian taxpayers' money and have these lavish parties and whatnot. We wouldn't have the son of the Equatorial Guinean president going to France, who's purely black, by the way. Let me add that. We want to have guys like him going to France, buying all these villas and these Maseratis, and fleets of Maseratis, I should add, and whatnot.
I keep thinking about Amos Wilson whenever I hear this conversation, those words that he said. What makes something African is when it works in the interests of African people.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
So I tend to go for that more than the superficial stuff. Because like he said, there's plenty of people that's black as the ace of spades, black as a penny loafer, and the biggest bootlicking Negroes on the face of the earth. There's people that never, they were born and raised on the continent, never even been to America. So let's start thinking about working in our interests. What works in our interests and what doesn't.
And also one final point before, and this is also going to go into our situation, right? When we vote with our feet, right? When we go to a country and we lobby and do influence, what's going to stop that another Samuel Doe from happening? Because that's the thing. We could end up in a situation where you got a Samuel Doe happening in our country. What do we do then? If we focus on the purity test, like some people call, and Hollop, you talk about it all the time. And it's one of the things that some people in the leftist community talk about. Many leftists have this purity test. Oh, you can't have made this kind of comment. You can't have made this kind of comment or this comment before. And what as a result? People get turned off, or you're seen as not somebody to align with because you care so much about the purity test rather than their policy. What do they support? I care about that because you have a situation where if we focus on the purity test, that's going to dilute what our main objective is. Because, like I said, we could have a situation where there are African Americans that come to Africa that have, like I said, have a black family and all that, and they could be trying to foment a coup against us like they did with William Tolbert and Samuel Doe. Shouldn't we care more about that? The fact that they might issue a coup against us that we think are our friends that are extremely close? Because let's not forget the person who was the agent for the against who was it, Fred Hampton, or against Marcus Garvey. They were black like us. They was living in our communities. They were married to members of our community, and they sabotaged our community completely.
Hell, even Martin Luther King had black Asians against him.
Yeah, it's like we gotta be smart, man, and we gotta not be distracted by trivial shit. And trust me, I don't think that anybody can accuse anybody in the BIO of being an integrationist.
Right.
So what are you worried about? There's nothing to be worried about. Nobody's gonna take over our nation. Fuck that.
Mm-hmm. And here's the thing: when you don't, and here's the thing, and that's the important thing: when you don't have a purity test, when you don't have a purity test, and you care about helping the people and the interests of the people, when something bad happens, the people mobilize for you. If you want to know who really supports you, if you want to know who really supports you, let that happen. Because look at what happened to Evo Morales in Bolivia, right? Evo Morales got cooed by unpopular Janine Áñez. Do you not know that the Bolivian people literally, because Evo Morales did a lot of policies, literally formed a highway blocking them from getting out of the country? They could not get in or out of the country, and they were forced to do an election because they provided the people with something. They gave the people economic benefits. They gave them something to be proud of. It's not just this pseudo nationalism, okay? Because like there's a saying, fascism is capitalism in decay. They say that not because of they just think private ownership and it should go into all of this, but they say that because when you're not providing for the people, think about it. We do this in America right now. Holla. What do the Hoteps do? Have the Hoteps provided the black community anything?
Zero.
But why are the Hoteps so popular?
Because they preach the rhetoric.
Exactly.
The feel good stuff.
Right. The nationalism.
The nationalism.
We need to have this in our future. We're gonna have this. It's never.
Oh damn! Hold on, we got an echo.
Shima. Let me. Yeah, that's that. Yeah, that was Shima. Yeah, that's Shima. Let me. You good? Shima, your mic is okay. Okay, he's good. But yeah, that's why that's why Umar Johnson has such a huge following. Umar Johnson ain't done nothing for the community. Umar Johnson has scammed black people out of millions.
Damn.
But it's the nationalist black talk that he gives why people still listen to him.
And not to mention, you got these random online cults like these Hebrew Israelites, like these Nawabians, like these Aboriginals. Like nobody ever questions why they're popular. Ever questions why they're popular. They don't provide. They're actually a complete detriment to the community, as a matter of fact.
When you don't provide people with anything, the feel good rhetoric is what gets you. If you actually provided the black community with something, these people would have been gone a long time ago. They would have been blown up into oblivion.
That's how you create loyalty, Ruby. You create loyalty by providing for the people. Where the people feel that having a nation benefits them, that's how you get loyalty. You're not going to get loyalty by superficial things like the skin complexion and who's dating, who's marrying who. And keep in mind, like I said, it ain't like white folks. We ain't rolling out the red carpet for white people. It's not for white people. Liberia is not for white
Exactly.
folks. Liberia is for
And
us.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. The vast majority of people going to Africa are Africans. The vast majority of people
Right.
migrating within Africa
This
are
is a
Africans.
non-issue to me. To
Right,
be honest
right.
with you, this is a
It
non-issue.
was like it was just like the video that I made on TikTok that blew up, right? When people were talking about, oh, Africans need to go to why are Africans going? Actually, can I play that TikTok video real quick? I hope I can play that. Let me play that TikTok video real quick, right?
Guess what? When I went to Rwanda, there were white people in Rwanda.
They weren't the majority. They weren't even
Right.
most of the
You can
immigrants.
count them. You can count them on your hand. Did they
So,
destabilize the country by their mere presence there? It's like
can I talk about? Hold on, let me talk about this.
Whenever I hear this, this whole China's taking over Africa, then it kind of pissed me off. The Chinese aren't even in Africa like that.
Mm-hmm.
I knew.
Can I show this real quick? Yeah. So I got the video. Let me share my screen because I have this TikTok video, right? I have this TikTok video. It's got about 36,000 views. So I just want to show this video. It's this TikTok video right here.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah, and also subscribe to my TikTok channel. So here it is. Great. Why are Africans running to the United States, Canada, Australia, and countries in Europe? Whoa. Slow down. I've heard this from countless racist white people and some Black Americans who got beef with Africans. But let's take a step back and unpack this. Did you know South Africa has 2.9 million immigrants? Did you know Cote d'Ivoire or Ivory Coast has 2.6 million immigrants? Most of them coming from other African countries. In fact, the Ivory Coast has one of the highest, if not highest, shares of immigrants than any African country. Furthermore, the region with the highest number of international migrants / immigrants is East Africa with 7.68 million. Y'all love bashing Nigeria and talking about how Nigerians are running all over the place. Let's talk about Nigeria. Did you know Nigeria has 1.3 million immigrants? Matter of fact, between 2010 and 2015, Nigeria experienced a 30% increase in the overall number of immigrants. Most Nigerians are not moving to the United States. In fact, the country that receives the most Nigerian immigrants is Sudan, a country that has more Nigerians than the United States and the United Kingdom combined. The Daily Trust says there are over 5 million Sudanese of Nigerian origin in the country. In 2001, a Nigerian ambassador to Sudan said there could be as high as 7 million Nigerians in Sudan. Most Africans are migrating within Africa than going to Europe. IPL researchers found that only 10% of West and Central African migrants / immigrants want to travel to Europe. The vast majority want to stay within Africa. And the vast majority of Africans that do go to Europe are from North Africa, not Sub-Saharan Africa. Speaking of Europe, y'all don't talk about Portuguese migrants coming to Angola, and some of them don't have visas and are bribing politicians so that they don't get deported. Stop perpetuating that Afrophobic and racist stereotype that the vast majority of Africans want to come to Europe and the West. The vast majority of Africans want to stay within Africa, but you still believe in that because you have the stereotypes that Africa's poor, underdeveloped, filled with war, and people want to leave, and that's not true. If Africa was so great, why are Africans running to the? I mean, what more else has to be? What more else has to be said? I mean, that's just the truth of the reality. The vast majority of people that are moving to Africa are Africans. The vast majority of people moving within Africa are Africans. Europeans ain't flooding to get to Africa. the Asian community, people from Asia ain't flooding to get into Africa. Like, come on. Like, we got to be real. We
Open the
got to be
floodgates of
real.
heaven.
We got to
And I
stop
like
this.
And I like to add something to that. Like the number of African immigrants who actually want to come to the US or the UK is actually decreasing, believe it or not.
That don't surprise me. And we see black folks in the UK going back to Grenada, Ghana, South Africa, like literally. Like this is what like we have so much, and this is what Hollywood was talking about with technology, with a lot of hoteps and pro blacks. They have they have a very outdated mentality. What we are saying is your ideology needs to match the current day, and that's what we're talking about. We care about black people. We have the interests of black people, but we have a modern way of thinking and understand that you have to have a modern understanding, a modern point of view. This outdated view from the 1990s gotta go.
If you don't got God,
What's your take, Siri? Because I know you haven't been talking a lot, so I want to give you the floor and let you speak.
Well, I think your point that is universal, that it's the old things that have been preached from the 60s and 70s, and it's not really reflective of the way of thinking and what's actually going on locally and globally in these modern times. It's still a throwback to a previous generation. And I think that's part of why, our stuff focuses a lot on changing the narrative and bringing things up to date so that people know current information.
Yeah, that's the thing. We have to update, like you said, you update your resume. You have to update your resume. It's 2022. Resume has to be updated.
Great analogy. Yep.
And also, I want to get to this point, voting with your feet, right? Voting with your feet, right? Not only does that give you more influence, and this goes back into everything we've been talking about, right? When we establish our nation and people are now voting with their feet, that gives you more leverage. Because guess what? When you have a base of operations, we can do other operations in other countries because we now have a central hub. We now have a command center. People like, well, why aren't there ain't no politicians, or why aren't we advocating politics in South Africa? And I said, we don't have a base of operations. Everybody's scattered. Like I said, you saw the video of African Americans moving to South Africa. You have the real South Africa. I did an interview with a South African brother who lives in South Africa. Did an interview about my experience in South Africa. We have Phil, from the African Diaspora News Channel, just went to South Africa. You have another lady, her name Ashley. She went to South Africa. We've had so many brothers and sisters in South Africa. But if you don't have a command center that can coalesce everything, then the voting by foot it's diluted. It's not concentrated. It's not strategic. And you
Exactly.
can't get what you want. Because one of the things that we keep talking about other immigrant groups, right? But other immigrant groups, one, they live together. Okay, they live around the same area, number one. And number two, they vote as a block, or they vote usually together. Okay. You don't see them all over the place scattered, like, oh yeah, I'm one Cuban or this. No, you see little Havanas, you see Koreatowns, you see little Italy, because when you coalesce everybody into one area, or you strategically put them together, they're much more of a force.
Exactly. Like, it was upsetting initially when you showed those stats on the Portuguese immigrating to Angola. It's like, why is it so easy for white people to pick up themselves and go anywhere they please without any resistance? It's disturbing, but it's also a true and a fact that we have to accept. We don't mobilize like they do.
And notice, right? And you were talking about this point of Syria earlier when I was talking about African Americans and the bad African movement back in the past. Black folk, the difference between their communities and us is their communities, they move as a community. When a few families leave, everybody getting up. Everybody's leaving. The whole church congregation's leaving, the neighborhood's leaving, everybody leaving.
It's true.
Everybody's getting on that plane and we all going back. Black folks will be like one person. They say one person. They'll say one person, right? They'll say, oh, well, I'm leaving. And it's one person.
Here's one thing I've observed as both Africans, both on the continent and in the diaspora. We as Africans have a strictly home-based mentality. Like we don't we don't tend to move around in large numbers. Most of us tend to stay where we're familiar with. And 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 according to the times, that honestly has to change. You know what I'm saying?
Of course, that has to change. We're going to be that frog in the boiling water. What happens when our skills are no longer required here? And that's a reality. You know, we've I think sat on our laurels thinking, oh, we'll always have a job because there's the service industry or whatever. But as automation rolls out year after year, there's less need for people. So what are you going to do? Wait here until you're not needed? What happens when you're no longer that reliable workforce? You got to get up out of here. And what happens when the cost of living is so high you can't afford it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's already getting to that point now.
Exactly.
Uber Eats.
Black people's skills are literally not what wanted in America.
Everything's being outsourced, and it's outsourcing happening since the 90s when it, the last acceleration of it. I know because that's the type of work I did. I looked at making things more efficient, better, faster, cheaper until there's no jobs left.
You know what the new frontiers are?
Oh. Oh no, never mind. I'll address it in the next 5 to 10 minutes. I want to address this situation. I want to address it in the next 2 to 5 minutes.
You know what a new frontier is? It's not America. Infrastructure is mainly built already. You know, it's crumbling, but they don't care. But the new frontier is on the continent. Everybody keeps talking about getting the bag, yet they want to stay in America. I just find that interesting.
The bag is leaving America quick if they don't notice.
The bag is in Africa. Like I said, Aliko Dangote went from $3 billion to 12 in 1 year. How much wealth is Oprah gained? Wasn't she the richest?
At one point.
How much wealth has she gained over the last 10 years?
Her wealth has actually declined.
Yeah. But you know what, though? In a way, it's a good thing that there's a small group of people who know what time it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good thing. I bet you the people who knew what time it was with Apple and Amazon and all of these companies who's blowing up right now, I bet you the small amount of people that knew what was up with Bitcoin when it first came out, I wonder how they're feeling right now. How do you think they're feeling when you was buying Bitcoin when it used to cost $1 per share? So this is a good thing. That's why I only want to deal with the people of like mind, man. That's who I talk to. That's what my message is for. That's what I'm trying to connect with. Those are the people that I'm throwing flares out for. and hoping to see the flares that they're throwing out for me. Everybody else, it's going to be a certain percentage of us who have to deal with those type of people. Won't be me. The people that still need convincing. There really is a foot in your ass, sir. Just turn around. Can't you see it? Nah, I need a PowerPoint presentation so you can convince me that the foot is in my ass. Oh, you don't have your PowerPoint presentation? I can't follow you. You got some X-Lax? My ass is feeling kind of sore.
Uh-huh.
I'm done, man. I'm done.
Hey, Hollow.
What's up?
I sent you something real quick.
Signal?
Yep.
All right, let's see.
Or the private chat.
Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to the BAIO African Stand channel. Register if you're not a member. Get the merch as well. If you are a big fan of nationhood, goddamn.
Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, I'm done. Y'all are compromised. I don't. Which part? You know what the part that I find the funniest part is the "yeah, I'm done" part.
Oh Lord.
That's the part that's the most hilarious to me. Go for it.
I've been waiting. So first of all, this man want to say y'all are compromised. That's what he want to say. What have you done, sir? Please tell us what have you done? Because you ain't done nothing. You ain't doing these live streams. You ain't planning nothing. You sit here and you talk. Then when somebody presses and challenges, you say, I'm not going to get into it. You say that because you ain't got no point. You ain't got no say. Don't come at us when you ain't been doing nothing. Go ahead and leave. You ain't even worth more than the damn Dollar Tree up the store.
Oh shit. Wait a minute.
You ain't worth more than a damn paper bag that I throw in the trash can. So don't come here and disrespect us like that. You are on our channel. It was us who did the planning. You didn't do none of that.
Not the paper bag.
There are plenty of things that I could expose right now. Of some things that you've said, literally. Do we really want to go there? You really want to go there with us? You want to go low? We'll go down to the basement.
Oh shit, bro.
I'm trying to keep my chill.
No, keep it chill, man. It's not that deep, to be honest with you.
Goodness.
It's not that deep, really. It's really not that deep.
Like, comment, subscribe, everybody.
Exactly. Join the BAIO, BAIOAfricstan.org/register. We're almost at 2 hours. I think we put in some work.
I'll say my last thoughts. I'll just go ahead and go first.
Go for it.
Yeah. Black votes don't matter here. We might as well do the foot voting. And on that note, tune in to the lounge tonight at 8 7:30. Topic of the day, well, topic of the night, modern dating. I got a series of questions, play a little trivia, as well as get everybody's perspective. So if you are not a member of the BAIO and you want to join the lounge, please do so. The headlines, the website is in the description, as well as this little thing that's going across. But peace and blessings.
Peace, brothers.
Anybody else going to say their last thoughts?
Is it Siri there?
I'm here.
Any words? Any last thoughts?
Keep vigilant. This isn't over. Keep vigilant.
I agree.
Come on. That's it.
That's it.
Like, I mean, all I have to say is pay attention, see things how they are, and pay attention to what's going on around you. That way, you can make the right move.
Connect the dots.
In my last words are. Oh wait, I'm getting a feedback.
It's probably from Chino.
Oh, okay. Hello. Yeah, all right. Yeah, my last thing to say is, oh, I'm black, y'all. And I'm blackity black, and I'm black, y'all. I'm black, y'all. And I'm blackity black, and I'm black, y'all. I'm blick, blackity black, blickity black, because I'm black and I'm back. That's what I got to say. Ain't nobody in the chat room, nobody on this line is blacker than me. I'm the blackest motherfucker out here. That's what I want to say.
I ain't gonna lie. I wanted to spit a verse after that. I was feeling it. Shit.
I'm blickety black, blackity black, the blickety black. I ain't even date a Puerto Rican. I never even been with a light-skinned black woman. That's how black I am.
Look,
The faux black.
black is
The faux black.
Oh, Jesus.
Black is God.
Hilarious, bro. Oh my god.
That's why I say, man, there's no need to get upset. Don't get riled up. It's not that deep. Because like the people that are with us are with us. We have active people that's been with us, people that's trying to do things and whatever. People that was not with us were never with us to begin with. You can't go nowhere when you were never with us to begin with. So what is there to be upset about? It's like somebody in the army who's missing in action say, "Hey, I'm not down with your army no more." What you never you were never there to begin with. So what exactly are we missing?
LOL. Ain't done no grab, but gonna be talking. Okay.
What are we missing? So it is what it is.
Yep.
Anyway, on that note, take it easy, y'all.
You too.
I'll try to tune into the lounge. I don't know if I'll make it, but I'll try. If not, then y'all have a good time without me. Just I gotta work tonight.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Peace, brothers.
Oh, underrated. Before we go, what's the topic gonna be?
Modern dating.
Oh man, is this gonna be recorded?
I mean, that's if everybody else wants it to be recorded, but yeah.
Well, yeah. I would like for you. If I can't make it, I would like to hear it.
All right, say less. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Love you all. Talk to you later. Peace.
See you later. Peace.
To the club.